Good morning and happy Friday the 13th before a rainy Valentine's Day. It's only half of your weekend. We've been talking about that. There are a few changes, though. Want to go ahead and go over those with you this morning. First of all, just want to point out that with all of this incoming storm system, severe weather not a threat for our area. In fact, here is the severe weather outlook. For today, just some generalized thunderstorms touching central and east central Kansas. And when I put up tomorrow's severe weather outlook, you can see the bulk of the storm really in terms of possibly marginally severe weather well to the south of us. So we are just talking about good old thunderstorms here. And I want to go ahead and show you what has changed in the most significant way. Not necessarily the timeline, but let me go ahead and pull up some model data here and you can see just kind of general, big picture, how this series works for us. So this is about 8 o'clock tonight. Things kick off there in east central Kansas, and then watch this entire system just kind of play out as we go across midnight to the early morning hours of Saturday. So what has changed? Well, the whole thing has pretty much shifted to the north. So this is going to be the same amount of time, duration wise, that we have been talking about, but potentially some heavier rainfall. So we'll look at that in just a second. But here we are on the end of this thing. This is about 10 to 11 o'clock tomorrow night. That's Saturday night. So here it is again, backwards to forwards. You can just kind of see the whole thing has shifted well into our territory. In fact, east central Kansas and west central Missouri being pretty much right in the middle of this thing in terms of just a rainy Saturday. Kicking off before midnight tonight. So let me go up here just a little bit more specifically and show you this is between 8 and 9 o'clock tonight. I think you will see showers and pockets of some heavier rainfall with some smaller embedded thunderstorms picking up around Council Grove over here toward Ottawa, starting to come across state line as well, Lacine down to Rich Hill and Nevada as well. So then as we start to move across towards midnight, here we go, just gets heavier, but I think the bulk of this is really going to be down here around Eureka, Chanute, Neodesha, Girard, headed over towards Lamar. So kind of between Oswego and Burlington over on the Kansas side for a big wide swath of heavier rainfall. And this is about 11 p.m. to say 2 a.m. tonight. Then it just kind of continues. So hit and miss with some pockets of heavier rainfall. Look with me now. Here is I-70. So you guys can see predominantly this heavier rainfall is going to sag just south of I-70. So we're looking for precipitation amounts to pick up in Harrisonville, Gardner, Ottawa, kind of like along this line here and to the south down here towards Bates County, Henry County, and points to the south. So that's sort of what we're looking at in terms of where we should find the heaviest rainfall. And then again, here is your Saturday afternoon. Things start to fade out over here in eastern Kansas, but it is still raining, probably just lightly. And then things will move out. Here we are around 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. And we get up to about 11 o'clock midnight before things finally push off to the east. So big picture, starting around 8, 9 o'clock tonight, depending on where you are, starts raining through at least that time tomorrow. So let's go ahead and take a look at rainfall amounts. We're expecting those to be up, and here we go. Let me just kind of show you a big picture again. Here's where the storm kind of lands. So, that bigger, heavier stuff down in Arkansas for sure, but our area has improved in terms of the rainfall outlook. So let's go up and take a look. North of Kansas City, still looking for just less than an inch, could be up around 0.8 of an inch for you guys. Kansas City proper, this is where in this lighter blue area here is where I expect about 1 inch gradient to be right through there. So as we go down here to the south, kind of the blue-green area, this is picking up over an inch right now, according to this morning's data. So somewhere around 1.25 inches, could be up around 1.5 inches for all of this area here in kind of the blue-green. So that picks up Greenwood, Harrisonville, down the I-49 corridor here, over towards Drexel, good morning, Lacine, Mound City, and Prescott, picking up around 1.25 inches or a little bit more. So let's go over here into the purple. This talks about you guys. This is 1.5 inches or more. Looking at Appleton City, could pick up Rich Hill, Rockville, over towards Lowry City and Osceola, down towards Wablo and Humansville as well, up and down that 13 highway corridor there. So significant shift to the north brings those heavier totals. So back down, down towards Lamar, Joplin, hard to say. I mean, a lot travels through here, so these totals seem maybe just a little bit low to me for this area here, but I think we're expecting 1 inch for sure. I'd say it's probably going to be well over 1 inch for you guys down here in this area. So that is what we're looking at rain total wise. It's just good, beneficial rain, probably a little thunder to it, good sleeping weather, and a rainy Saturday is what we're going for there. Let's look at some other things. How long can you talk about the rain? Well, it's just rain, so not that long. But the pattern does look fairly active as we move into next week. It looks to stay that way. So I'm actually looking at Thursday for our next shot of precipitation. Doesn't seem to be too much right now, but a low pressure system starts to move over the area. This is during the daytime, so maybe towards the afternoon hours of Thursday, this will probably change. So won't put too much stock in that right now. And then as we move towards Thursday night, I do kind of watch this low pressure system that does sort of center over the area, perhaps a little bit off to our north, will drive some showers and some thunderstorms. Where will they be? We won't get too much into that right now this far out, but I do expect a system to bring us some precipitation in the area on Thursday. Then as we go through the pattern, I'm looking for a cool down. I'm going to get into that here in a second. But like I said, the weather pattern continues to be active. Looking around the 20th of the month, temperatures cool down again, but I think they're going to stay above snow probability or snow territory, right? So I think we're going to see around the 20th, 21st, 22nd of this month, another system popping through. But data this morning telling me it's going to be all rain, and I'll show you temperature data in a second too that also supports that. So let's go ahead out further and take a look at what I see here. Well, I'm looking for another shot of Arctic air, and I'm just not really seeing it. So here is temperature anomalies looking into next week. I've been talking about this. Really significant warm-up gets going here. And then what happens after that? Data was telling us it cools off, but it's trending upward in terms of temps, right? So I do see a cool down again around the 20th, 21st, 22nd of this month, but temperatures just look to lean a little bit below average, not so much of a big deep Arctic blast popping through the region. So of course we'll be watching any precipitation that develops with any systems in this time frame, but temperatures not low enough below average that I'm starting to think that that will be a snow event either. So by and large for the area scooting through the month, mostly above average temperatures prevail, and those that are below average are not that far below average. So what does this do in the immediate term? For our temperatures, look at these again for February, just crazy to me, but here you are. So 66 for today, expecting a great Friday if you're out and about today. No reason not to enjoy that. Look at these overnight lows now popping up. They're not so bad at all. 47, 43, 40 is going to be about the coolest in the immediate stretch for Monday morning. But look at that next week, that heat wave that I am telling you about, 70 degrees, 71. 69 for Thursday. So amazing. Here is that little cool down that I was talking about towards next week. But again, I just don't see anything making us think about snow. We'll keep an eye on these overnight lows. Obviously, long way to go still on that data. So that is what I have for you this morning. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much for joining me. I want to talk about today's sponsor. Of course, this is exciting to me. This is my company. So if you did not know that, Mullinex Funeral Home and Cremation Services is in Butler, Missouri and Drexel, and sponsoring today's weather. And like I say, this is me and my amazing, awesome crew at Mullinex Funeral Homes. So give us a call. This is the place where pre-arrangement still is guaranteed. Guaranteed, meaning you pay ahead of time and that price is locked in, protecting you and your family members. And that's a big thing. You get the peace of mind of having your arrangements made and paid for, and that price will not go up. We've done that for a long, long time. That and many other services provided for many years now in both locations. 660-679-0009 is the phone number. Give us a call to get some pre-arrangements made if that is something that has been on your mind. Otherwise, have an awesome day. Have a great weekend. There's nothing to be concerned about weather-wise, just some good beneficial rain. And I will keep you posted on anything else. Have a great day. Catch you later.